Hey everyone, welcome to Data Millennials. I'm Atul and today we are going to discuss on the quotation marks in Python. In Python, quotations are used to define a string, one of the most fundamental data type. Whether you are storing names, message or any text-based information, you will be using quotations to represent these string. So let's dive in and see what are all different type of quotations that we have in Python. So basically, we can define a string using three different type of quotation marks. The first is the single quote, second is double quote, and third is triple quote. So as you can see, the single quote is basically this, where you have a single quote over here, double quotes is this, and in triple quote you have two different options. Either you can use 3 times a single quote or you can use double quotes 3 times. So let's go and use these three different quotes in Python to store a particular string or word and then print it. So let's take an example of single quotes first. So I'm gonna say let's take a word, and in this word I'm going to put my name. Okay, the second thing is that I'm going to take another word and then I'm going to use double quotes over here. Again, I'm going to put my name, and then we are going to use the triple quotes. So I'm going to put word 3 equal to this is a triple quotes we have to use. So we are going to say this is a sentence. Okay, now if I print this word, you can see that I'm getting my name over here. What if I print word 1? Similarly, I'm getting Atul Anand, and let's print the word 3. Now this is a sentence. So each of these three quotation marks are valid and works the same way for most cases. However, this different form of quotation in Python offers flexibility when dealing with various scenarios. So let's take a scenario saying that when we have to use single and when we have to use double quotes. So both single and double quotes are interchangeable for defining a string, but they come in handy when you have quotes within a particular string. So let's say that if I have a quote basically and I'm saying that I like Python. Okay, what if I want to show this Python string within a double quote while printing it? In that case, I might need to use this quote over here. But if I'll run this, or if I'll print this now, let's say if I'm going to print this quote, you will get an error because it's saying that unterminated string literal. So if you have to get this double quote part in your output, then you have to use single quote for your strings. So now if I print this, you will see that it's saying I like, and within double quote you have Python. Similarly, if we need a single quote around a particular string, then how we can do it? Let's again define a variable quote. Within this quote, I'm going to say it's a wonderful day. Now if I print this, you will see that you have a single quote over here which I have given in my string. So this can only happen when you use the quotes interchangeably. So if you're using, or if you're starting with a double quote to store your string, you have to end it with double quote. If you're using a single quote in the starting of your string to store a string, then you have to use single quote at the end also. Now let's assume a scenario that you have to use the same type of quote inside the string. Let's take an example and then I'll explain it to you. So let's say I have a quote, and let me copy this part. So what if I need to use a single quote, and within this single quote I'm going to give this statement, and I can see that I have a single quote over here. In that case, what we can use? So we have to use the escaping quotes. When you need to use the same type of quotes inside a string, you can use a backslash to escape it. So basically what I can do is that I can simply put a backslash over here, and then if I print this quote, you will see that we get the same output over here. So here the backslash tells Python to treat the quote as a part of a string rather than the end of the string. Now let's take example of this triple quotes. So when does this triple quote is ideal and when should we use it? So whenever you need to use a multi-line string, then you can use this triple quote, or when you're using doc string. So in Python, triple quotes are used for writing functions or class documentation. So whenever you are doing some kind of documentation in your code, then you can use this triple quotes. So let's say that I have another statement or an instruction within my code to give information about the another person who will be looking into this code, right? So I'm just gonna say, let's say quotes, or let's say put instructions, okay, and I'm going to give triple quote. Within this triple quote, I'm going to say first you have to run this part of code, then run the another module. Whenever you have multi lines of comment in your code, then you can use this triple quotation. Okay, so let's print this instruction. Okay, that's a wrong spelling. So now you can see that you have two lines of statement over here. Now if we talk about this triple quotation mark, then you can use it for your doc string also. So let's say that if I'm defining a particular function, let's say I'm putting function sum, okay, and in this I'm taking two argument within this string. I need to give a one line or two line of comment. Then what I can do is that I can simply put this triple quote and I'll write this function was written by Atul, and then on the second line I'm going to say this function simply adds two number, and then two numbers actually, and then returns the output. Okay, now for the rest part of this function, let's return a plus b. Okay, if I call this function, let's rename it as sum test. Okay, so if I call this function by putting it into a variable result, let's say sum test 4, 6, and then let's print result, then you can see that you're only getting the output over here. But if somebody sees this function or review this function, they will get to know that it was written by Atul, and this function is simply adds two number and return the output. So when you're creating a very complex Python functions, then you can use doc string, and for using doc string you have to use this multi-line string, and that can be achieved by this triple quotation mark. So this is how basically we use quotations in Python. Happy learning and see you in the next video.